Hello, everybody. I wanted to just see how you guys were doing tonight and talk about Marathon. As you can tell, I have been playing some Marathon. I've recorded some footage all throughout the alpha playtest so far. And I had some thoughts. I wanted to share some thoughts and go over various parts. For today, we'll be actually looking at the tutorial. Tutorials in the background, and this is stuff I've already recorded all the way back several days ago, but I was taking care of my dad, so I couldn't actually, talk about it. I was silently recording. I wanted to say, I actually have some pretty good thoughts about this game. I think the vibe of the game is quite top-notch. There's a couple of things that are like really stellar, big standouts, and some that, of course, there's some issues that I think are going to be a problem. But overall, I think the game's really cool. One thing that I really like is the guns. They feel good. The guns feel good. They really do feel good. They shoot well. They act like how guns should. They kind of have a little bit of an Apex feel. Apex gunplay is very good, and a bit of a Halo vibe as well. Now, some people may compare and contrast to Destiny, which is Bungie's other big game. I didn't really play all that much Bungie, so really I don't know. I had to check to see if you could shoot the birds. You cannot. I think that's a downside, by the way. I think you should be able to shoot the birds. This is the very first tutorial, by the way. And what you will also see is that you can die in the tutorial. In fact, let me see if I can get footage of that up, because it was pretty funny. One thing you should know about me is anytime you can screw something up in a tutorial, I will find it. I will find it. I've done this in pretty much every single game. My community makes fun of me all the time about it. That is okay. I can do it on purpose. I like to limit test. And I don't mind, being the butt of jokes. But you will see me, and I'll show you where you can, and you absolutely can die to anything in this game in the tutorial. If you don't shoot the robots well, you can die to them. They do damage to you, and they do quite a bit of damage, actually. One thing I really do like is, unlike a lot of extraction games, so Tarkov is the main one that I play, but I play a little bit of every extraction game. Other extraction games, the AI definitely has some skills, but a lot of times it kind of turns into, can they one-shot you? If yes, you die. If no, you get the drop on them, you kill them. That's how it works in Tarkov, and it's kind of a little one-note, though they have improved that recently, which is really cool. But the AI in this game is very interesting. They move, they attack, they flank, they sprint, they use skills, they can throw grenades. They do all of these types of things. There's different types of AI. And it's something I've not really seen a lot of people talk about. I think the AI is actually very cool in this game. And here is another way you can die. So the tutorial has boundaries, which the actual game does not. And so, yeah, I walked out of the boundary, and I lost everything that I had started with. And then you'll see in my next run, the one that I started previously, that I started the video with, I actually came in with no weapons, and I found this gun in a locker. So yeah, you can very much die in this game, the tutorial. Yeah, the enemies, not only are they varied and interesting, but they also actually can kill you. Like, they do a lot of damage. You can die. This game is very much designed for 3 people. A game like Tarkov, you can play and have a much easier time if you're in a squad, though you run into issues with, like, communication and all that. So there's some upsides and downsides. Of course, many more upsides for being a squad. But you can play viably as a solo in Tarkov, and I do pretty much always play as a solo in Tarkov. Almost always. Sometimes I have my boys on with me. But in this game is designed for trios. It is so hard to succeed as a solo, and you'll see me do some solo runs as well in this future video. And this game doesn't do that. The reason is that it's partly because of, like, the AI, waves and waves of AI, and they're really aggressive. They push on you, they flank, they gather up in large groups, and everything is a little bit bullet spongy. So are you. So you're pretty tanky, but everything else is pretty tanky as well. But the other problem is that guns don't have stats, so you can't, like, out headshot something like in Tarkov and, you know, use sniper to just supremely headshot, or, you know, like an SMG to bullet cleave through you know, a group of people or a group of AI or whatever like that, which you can in Tarkov. You can't really do that here. There's no penetration, there's no bullet stats. This assault rifle will do the damage that another assault rifle does. If I get a shotgun, it'll do the same damage as another shotgun. The mods will change, like, you know, the fire rate, the ADS speed, the range, you know, all those things. But as far as I can tell, there is only a universal stat for bullet damage for every single gun type. So Sniper A will do the same damage as Sniper B. Overrun Assault Rifle A will do the same damage as Overrun Assault Rifle B. You know, so on and so forth. So that damage stat, or lack of damage stat change, is something that kind of makes the damage a little bit more handleable as a nozzle. See, there's some jumping. I love how the enemies jump, man. It's really cool. It kind of like makes me think they're, you know, first couple of times we ran into them in raids, I was like, oh, holy shit, is that a human? Oh my god, can I do a scav run as a robot? There's no such thing as that, but that'd be really cool, though. One thing to the developers, I would love to see a scav run. Also, this tutorial was very well designed. Lots of different parts, lots of different aspects to it. It kind of tells you and shows you how to loot, how to do this, how to do that, how to extract, how to attack, the different skills. It kind of tells you to use the skills and so on and so forth. And you can do, I was using the default guy that you start with, as in like it highlights, which is the more like soldiery guy. He has a shield, and I think his name's Locus. He has some like targeting thing for his Q, which is like his ultimate. But I found that I didn't really like playing him as much in groups. But you could take any of the characters into the tutorial and beyond. You could take Void, which is the stealth dude. You could take Glitch, which is the cyberpunk cute girl that is like the face of the game right now. She's very zoomy. I found out. I was like, all right, that's death. I'm going back out. Because I'm an explorer, man. I like to go for every single item I possibly can. And the last one is, I forgot what the last character's name is. She's the one with the helmet, and she can basically, like, do the wall hacking. Also a very useful character. My favorite guy is Stealth Guy, but your mileage may vary. A lot of people like to play the wall hack person. A lot of people like to play Glitch. And I would say I've seen the least amount of the soldier class, the Locust guy that I was playing here. I just didn't see him that much. His shield doesn't seem that useful. It's good in group play, but if you're soloing, someone gets to drop on you with a shield. The only way to really outplay that is if you're blocking every damage shot with your shield, and then when they're reloading, you can take them out, kind of thing. Or that's it. Like, that's kind of it. You can use the shield as something, as a distraction card effect, and you know, hope your friends hit them or whatever, if you're in group. But if you're soloing, shield's not really that useful, honestly. It's really, really not that useful. At least not as useful as any of the other basic abilities for every other character. Now, that was the end of the tutorial run, but the other things I was checking was all the different characters. They all had different stats, heat, and so on and so forth. Very, very cool things. Very, very cool things. One thing I don't like, this is something that is a problem in a lot of extraction shooter games, is that what happens to all of the items you get. Now, some parts of this are cool, because you'll see, I don't think I picked up any of those items here, but maybe I did, actually. The big valuables, the ones that you can use to upgrade your character, are very, very cool, and they can be utilized in, you know, long-form progression. And those feel like the really cool items to pick up. But all of these other items right here, they're just auto-sold. They're just money. And the thing is that it's not exciting. It's not cool to pick them up. So I never picked them up. Even though, like, you know, progression's gonna be wiped really soon, doesn't really matter. Doesn't even make a difference to have any of these things. Picking up, like, a new caloric thing, or picking up, like, this little box or whatever, doesn't feel cool. It's like the least cool item to pick up in any extraction shooter ever. Even though money's useful, you can buy things with money, and money is good. Money means I can buy guns, ammo, grenades. Everything's expensive in the game, by the way. So, like, you know, a single grenade will cost you $225 in game, as in, like, you know, credits. I'll call them bucks. Yeah, CR's credits. But it still doesn't feel cool. It still doesn't feel cool. But what I do like in other extraction games is how Tarkov does it, and how actually the new one that's in also alpha playtest right now, Arc Raiders and Delta Force Survivors. Sorry, Delta Force Recon. Delta Force, whatever the rest of the name is called. Those games have items that you can pick up, like wires to craft, and you can, you know, have like a little bit of a hub area in Tarkov, which is my favorite part. Your little hideout that you can use to upgrade for longer form progression. You can make like a watering unit to get water easier. You can make a workshop to craft, you know, different pieces of ammo and so on and so forth. Those aspects of Tarkov, that more RPG-like long form progression, is what sucked me into Tarkov. Love it so dearly. And it's something that a lot of other games fail on. Now, Arc Raiders has done a pretty good job of this, and I'll showcase some gameplay and stuff of Arc Raiders. So if you guys like that, by the way, if you guys like games like this, extraction shooters, and you know, like this discussion so far, please do give this video a like, a sub, share with your friends, leave a comment of what you do like, and what your favorite extraction shooter is right now. No wrong answer. I've played them pretty much all. And, but yeah, going back to it, Arc Raiders, you can do crafting. You can it's not really like a hideout per se, but you do have like a workshop unit. You do have like a med unit and stuff, so you can make meds, you can make items, you can make explosives, you can make those things. And so all of the things you pick up, even if it's the lowliest fabric scrap or like metal scrap, feels useful in that game. And that is something that gives longevity to games like these. Whether the loot feels exciting to pick up. Now, I'm not saying all loot doesn't feel exciting in this game. Like, picking up this little, like, upgrade, there's a couple of different things, like shield upgrade, there's, like, little, like, upgrade slots on your character, and you can use that to, like, put it into your character. There's, like, a head slot, a torso slot, and a leg slot. And those are, like, augments and stuff. Those things feel really cool. And those can change your character's abilities even a little bit. You know, they can give you, like, faster loot speed, or, like, you know, several bars to your shield, and it can lower other stats, like make you ADS slower and stuff. I really like that. Like, that is dope, but I really do wish the normal loot was more cool. And it felt cooler to pick up. Not really, like, a big issue, but definitely a little bit of an issue. Another thing I really like is the vibe of the actual, like, loading into the game and everything like that. People are talking about the fog. I do agree, by the way. The fog is a huge issue here. Fog is a big issue. Another thing that I think is a major issue is that communicating with your team, I couldn't use my mic. And because I was taking care of my dad, and, you know, my mic wasn't working there at my dad's house and stuff like that. It's not a big deal. But one thing I noticed is that there's no way to type to your teammates. So you can't press enter and be like, hey, go here, or hey, my mic's not working, or whatever. You can't do any of that in this game. And this game also obviously doesn't have VoIP, and people have talked about that. I'll talk about that extensively in my pros and cons list for this game. But it's definitely something I wanted to bring up as we close out this video. The tutorial's over. Yeah, it was definitely a problem. Now, one thing I did really like, going back to it, we're talking about things I like. Look at these interiors. These interiors are really cool. Look at the detail. Look at the sci-fi feel. It feels like a mix between, like, Technicolor, like, you know, futuristic synthwave style, cyberpunk-esque, but also a little bit of, like, super sterile to the point of unnerving. And that art style is great. I love that art style. Now, that art style kind of falters when you come outside. You can see that. There is still some, like here on this little truck thing and everything like that. That's really dope. I love that. I think that's really cool. I think these decals over here and so on and so forth, they add a lot of character. Now, the downside is, you look out the rest of here, and you see all this green, which is fair. There's some, you know, flat lands and everything like that, but there's a lot of this. Most of the map looks like this. And that's fine, but it's not great. Marathon is all about, in my opinion, all of these internal areas. These internal areas are what really pop and shine Marathon. And it kind of makes me wish that we had like a factory level, like we do in Tarkov, where it's nothing but inside. Where you can see nothing but all these really, really cool areas and stuff. These like, you know, space station style areas and stuff like that. Like this is the best part of the graphical style of Marathon. And yeah, hope we'll get more of that. But yeah, sound design, dope. Guns are really good. The gameplay is smooth. And a lot of people complain about the heat system. I don't share that complaint. Heat is the exact same as a basically what amounts to a reverse version of stamina. It's exactly the same thing. You need heat. You need a stamina system of some kind in any game like this. Otherwise, what you're going to be doing is playing Apex. And I like Apex. Apex is cool. But extraction shooters are not Apex. They just are not by nature. And if they are, then everyone ends up playing it like an arena shooter instead of a more methodical approach as an extraction shooter is and should be, in my opinion. And the best ones are. So the more you get to the arcadey feel, the less it feels like an extraction shooter. Now, this already delves into that arcadey feel a little bit, you know, skills and augments and, you know, upgrades and all kinds of stuff like that. Those things already push to the arcadey level. So the fact that you have the heat system, you know, kind of brings it back and makes the gameplay a little bit slower. Some people say it's too slow. Maybe there's a a knob to rotate. That's the word I was looking for, a knob to rotate, to make the numbers a little bit more like, you know, a little bit less on the cooldown time when you're, you know, overheated or whatever. But I don't think it's too egregious by any means whatsoever. If you play Tarkov, especially the beginning of Wipe, when you don't have high strength or high stamina in the game, high endurance, I think, in the game, your character runs and starts huffing really fast. So I don't know if they, you know, people complaining about it have just, you know, been spoiled with how fast you level in Tarkov. Perhaps that's the thing. But, yeah, I didn't really find the heat a problem. I just thought of it as stamina. It's just another stamina system. Anyways, going back to the abilities, like I said, I think the abilities, some of them are cool, some of them are not. I think that can be reworked a little bit. You know, that's not really like a set in stone thing. I feel like if they made certain abilities more cool or more vibrant, the shield more interesting to use somehow or whatever, like that would be an easy way to fix my complaint with Locust Shield. But, you know, the other abilities are not too shabby. Like, there's some really cool abilities with, you know, the stealth grenades and you know, the smoke grenades and all that. The jumping in the air. Void has an ability where if you're in the air and you press V, you kind of, like, land down like a ninja in a ball of smoke. And you feel dope as shit, and it's also super useful. So, it's great. Those kinds of abilities, super, super cool. But, yeah. Anyways, that's kind of my take on the entire, at least the beginning part of Marathon. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think of Marathon? What do you guys think of the tutorial? Like I said, I think I showcased the tutorial pretty decently, at least, even the fact that you could die in the tutorial, which is funny. And also there's like tutorial missions. So that's one thing I want to talk about. The tutorial missions are a little buggy, so some people's mileage may vary. I had some friends that were playing the game as well, and they actually couldn't get past certain sections of the Marathon tutorial, which is very rough. And I didn't, thankfully, have any problems like that. But what I did come across was that it's very hit or miss to be able to do quests in this game because of the random nature of matching with teammates. So if you have a quest to loot 5 boxes in a single area on the map, which you do as one of your early quests, and your teammates want to go to, you know, 2 other places, you won't be able to do that quest at all in that entire run, unless you leave your teammates, which is a bad idea. Then you're essentially playing solo. So yeah, that's a bit wonky, a bit weird. Not sure how to really fix that, but I think that might be also a lot more to do with quest design. Now, one thing that I thought was really cool was, let me see if I can find some footage of this, is when you finish a quest, you get an entire like discussion by your various different AIs. So there's a group here. So Syak is the first one that you meet. They're like your intro guys. Then there's these guys, which is the nutritional guys. I forgot what their names are. And then there's Traxxas, which is like, the more PvP centric faction. So there's a couple of different factions. And there's 3 more, but we have not met these 3 yet, so we don't have access to that. But each one of these contracts, they put a lot of effort in these in terms of not just, sadly, not the quest design. The quest design is typical, go fetch this, go kill these, go grab this, blah, blah, blah. Very simplistic, which is whatever. It kind of is what it is. But hopefully they go more the Tarkov route, where Tarkov has some really cool quests. You got to, do more things. You got to mark containers. You got to, find a certain part of the map. You got to kill these guys in that part of the map and loot an item, or some at least some more complications and, variety. Tarkov does a pretty decent job with a lot of their quest design. Not all of it, but definitely some of it. You got to put a camera here, and there's a reason for it, and so on and so forth. But the thing that they do well in this game, which they also do in Tarkov, is that in the game, every single time you get a new full quest, not like, the side raiding quests, which there are plenty of, but those don't have any specific extra verbiage or anything like that. But in any of the main quests, there's like actual, the AI characters, each one is like a major AI that controls these groups. They talk to you. They give like a little paragraph, like a page long, little diatribe telling you what you're doing, why they like it, why they don't, and so on and so forth. And each one of them is fully voiced. Each one of them has this like cool little like let me see if I can find footage of it. It's probably after this run. Let's see. Yeah, we immediately died. Here we go. So you can see it. So Oni is talking to you, and you see like, the AIs like, having this little video play in the background, and it actually has not just the text. Tarkov only has a text, but it actually is voiced. So a lot of effort went into that. And I think if they lean into these aspects, these RPG style aspects of the game, it will be a lot better. So hopefully we'll see what they do. And I'll cover more. Also, these are the upgrade items that I was talking about, these microprocessors and so on and so forth. These are the things that will give you the long form progression upgrade. And you can pick these up everywhere. So a lot of grinding, a lot of figuring out where things are, and like, you have to basically farm nothing but North Relay and South Relay for the beginning of the game in order to get, your first vault size increase and so on and so forth, which can be a little annoying, but it's done rather okay. So I think that it could be fleshed out more. They should add, I don't know how, but they need to add more RPG style feel. And like, for example, one thing that I think works in Arc Raiders' favor, is the RPG style stats. You have stamina, and each time you upgrade, let's say you level up, you get an upgrade point, and you can put that into a skill tree. That's really cool in Arc Raiders. I really, really dig that. I think that's a really, really cool form of long-form progression. It gives you more feeling of control over what you do and what you get and how you use the experience you get in the game. And like I said, it's experience points. So experience points leveling up, that's an RPG feel. Tarkov, very much similar, but that is more an experiential thing. So you can think of it like a little bit like, Oblivion Skyrim. So if you, in Oblivion Skyrim, you take a sword, you whack people with a sword, you get sword experience, right? In Tarkov, if you use an LMG to mow down 10 enemies, you'll get a certain amount of experience for killing each one of those enemies. And as you level up your LMG skill, you'll be able to ADS faster, you'll be able to swap your weapons faster, and, very small, minute upgrades, but there's still upgrades. And so, you go down the line, and there's upgrades for everything from strength and stamina and speed to jumping and throwing ability and this and that. And at some point, some of these upgrades get very, very marked increases, or at least they feel much stronger than when you start at level 0. Strength is a big example. Strength can influence your jumping skill. And if you're jumping at level 1 strength, you can't reach certain areas that you can to snipe, for example, that you can with like 20 strength or 25 strength. And then when you get to those breakpoints, all of a sudden you're able to jump on certain rooftops that other people may not expect to see you at, or something like that. And that makes a lot of big power differences for long-form progression. Very important in these games, and something I've not seen enough of in Marathon yet. And I hope they lean more into it. So like I said, some positives, some negatives. Overall, I'm very positive on the game. I love the vibe of the game. I do think that there is space in the game world for a less hardcore, non-mill sim extraction shooter. And I think Marathon could handle that. However, it has some staunch competition with Arc Raiders, because Arc Raiders is seeking to hit that exact same type of feel. One thing that goes against Arc Raiders is that it's third person. And third person is very cheesy. You know, it's harder to control. There's a reason most games of this type, especially competitive ones, are FPS, not TPS, not third person shooters. And, you know, you can't, you know, corner cheese by, like, you know, having your character along a box. So say, like, this is a box, my character right here. My view will go over here, and I'll be able to see everything on this side. That's the problem. Whoops. Let me actually show my screen. There we go. So, say your character is like right here, right? So my character is fat. He's this wide. In Arc Raiders, if my character is positioned here, this empty space I can see beyond because the camera angle in third person. This is a major issue in a PvP game. Now, in a game like, you know, we're talking about extraction shooters, especially third-person ones, the wonderful world of Forever Winter, which is a fantastic game. Yeah, it's a third-person shooter, extraction game. However, no PvP. So it can be third-person all the live-long day. I can cheese the AI all the live-long day, and it feels more like a single-player game. And that's fine. However, with the PvP, I definitely did have an issue with that. Granted, it's only my first night playing Arc Raiders, but that was definitely an issue. So this is a traditional first-person shooter. There is no corner cheesing like that. There's none of that weirdness or anything like that that happens with a third-person shooter. So I think that very much goes into Marathon's favor. So if they lean into the strengths, they kind of mitigate the issues. I don't know. However, also, you know, they said they're going to launch in 5 months. I don't know if they're going to be ready in 5 months. Like, I really don't. Like, it is an alpha. It's a good alpha. I really am enjoying it. There'll be more footage coming up. I've had some really cool raids. A lot of discussions to come from those raids as well. But I will say that one thing that I did feel is that the breadth of the issues with the game design for things like the RPG mechanics of the game and the quest design of the game and so on and so forth, I don't know if those things will be solved in 5 months. So I feel like they'd be like making a disservice if this game was rushed out. And if this game doesn't launch well, it'll fail. Any game of this type, any extraction game, any RPG, not RPG, sorry, PvE game that is not really up to snuff at launch is going to have major issues moving forward. And I would hate to see Marathon to go down that same path, because the game itself is really freaking cool. So those are some of my thoughts. A little rambly, a little bit going, you know, jumping from thing to thing, from you know, various parts of the very interesting tutorial to, you know, gameplay to everything in between. But I hope you're able to gain some interesting knowledge. And if you guys did like it, like I said, give this video a like, a sub, share with your friends. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What you guys think of Marathon? What you guys think of the gameplay? What you guys think of the tutorial? What you guys think of my thoughts? And let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. I'll definitely catch you very soon. Take care, guys.